This video is to take you through how to make a copy of a digital portfolio for pupils to be able to follow. So as a teacher, if at any point you want to pause this video just to make sure that all of the class are following, you can do. So the first thing that you're going to need to do as a pupil is to open your Google Classrooms. So that can either be done through the link in Hub or through the Google waffle at the top right by going down and selecting and finding your Google Classroom. So once we've opened our Google Classroom, we then need to find the class that we're in this year. So for me, it's my example class. So I click on there and I can see that I've got an assignment that says ePortfolio template. So you'll need to open the assignment that your teacher tells you that they've called it. So I'm going to open that. And then we can see that I've got two pieces in here. I've got one with the ePortfolio and another one with the links. And the first one I'm going to want to open is my ePortfolio, and it's a link to a Google Drive folder. So select that one. And what you will see is that we've got a copy of an example digital portfolio for the primary. So this isn't actually in your Google Drive. This is in your Shared With Me folder. So the first thing we need to do is to make a copy. And what we can do is select the three dots at the end. Now, some of you may have a different view to this, and it can be altered just here in the top right where we have our list view, which is what I can see. And you've also got a grid view, which you may also have. So again, you've got your three dots at the top. So we're going to go back to the list view and work through this one. So on the three dots, we select the more actions and we're going to make a copy. And what this will do is this will make a copy of that example portfolio, and it'll make it for you, and it will actually be in your My Drive. So we can leave with the Shared With Me folder now and open up the My Drive. And you can see that there's not an awful lot within My Drive. You may have other pieces of work or images that you've saved within there. But for now, all we want to do is to see that you can find your copy of an example digital portfolio. So we're going to rename this. So again, going back to those three dots at the end, and we're going to go and select the rename option. And we're going to change it from the copy of an example digital portfolio. We're going to keep the digital portfolio part of it. And I'm going to add in my initials. I'm going to get rid of the word primary. So I've now renamed my portfolio so that whenever I want to find it, I can just go and find that digital portfolio by putting in names in the search at the top. Click OK. Now that I've made my copy, one of the other things that we're going to need to do later on is to share that with our teacher. So in order for them to be able to see that, we need to share and change the permissions in it. So going over to our three dots again for the more actions, you can see that we've got share, and then we can click share again. Now, when we open a Google site, we can go down and we can see our general access, and we've got our draft version, so the version that we are working on. And then we've also got the published site, and this is the one that you want to be able to share with your teacher so that they can see the work that you've added and you're happy with. So at the moment, that will be set as restricted. So if I select the down arrow, I can see that on mine I have restricted or public. What you will actually have is restricted or hub or your school domain. And what we want to do is to change that to hub, so that means that only people that have a hub username and account will be able to see your portfolio if you've shared it with them with the link details. Okay, so once we've got that as public and we've got it as viewer, we can click done. Now, the other thing we're going to want to do is that any of the work that we add to your portfolio will be through your Google Classroom. So you can see here's my Classroom folder, and all the work that you do in any Google Classroom will be saved in here. So to save us time in the future, we're actually going to share that folder as well. So on the more actions, we're going to click on the share and share again. And again, you can see the general access, and it is restricted. So that means that anytime somebody can't see any of your work, it's because you've got the access to it as restricted. And again, we're going to need to change that from restricted, and you're going to change it to hub or your school domain. And then we can click done. So this is now where we can open our portfolio. So I'm going to select my Google Sites portfolio and open that up. So we have the template for our school, and the first thing we're going to do is to change the pupil's name to your name. Okay, you will be able to change the fonts and the colors and all those things in the future, but just for now we're just going to go through what the pages are. So we've got your home page. We have a page with the 4 purposes of the Welsh curriculum that you can relate to and reflect on, and then we have your year groups, and then we also have some more pages where we've got the year 6 page, achievements outside of school, and any digital badges or certificates you may want to add. So once you've added your name to the main header, we've also got your name at the top where you've renamed your document earlier on, and then we've got the pupil's name here. So where it says pupil's name here, we can click, delete that off, and we're going to again change that to your name. In fact, we'll change it to ePortfolio. Now, when you add a name here, that will actually become the link to the name of your site. So at the top, when you're working on your site, if you do a little bit too much, you've got the undo button, you have the redo button, you have a preview button, which shows you what your website will look like to anybody on the outside. And then we can get rid of that by clicking on the exit preview. And then we have the copy the link to your unpublished site. So the first thing that we're going to need to do is to publish your site so that we can share that link back with the teacher. So we click publish. We've got our ePortfolio web address, and then we can click publish at the bottom. Now, anytime you update your portfolio with new work, so if, for example, we go to our year 3 page, this is where we're going to add all our work that we're in for year 3. And at the bottom, we can select a content block. We can add our piece of work, and we can go and find it in our Google Drive. We can add in some writing to say what we've done, and then we're going to add in our reflection on what we learnt and how that's supported the 4 purposes being developed. Okay, so back on the home page, because this is the page that we want the link to, we're going to click on the published site link, and then we're going to copy that link. So in order for your teacher to be able to see your website, you need to share this with them now. So if we go back to your Google Classrooms, so we can find that in the tab at the top that has the Google Classrooms icon. And you can see that in this one, our teachers provided a Google Forms. So clicking on the Google Forms link, we can put in your name, the year that I'm in. So I could be in year 3, and the year is 2025 to 2026. And then to paste my link in, I'm going to use the control button on the keyboard. So I'm going to hold the control button down, and I'm going to press V to paste my link. Once I can see that I've got everything in and it's correct, I'm going to click submit, and that's it. You've shared your portfolio with a teacher, and you now have within your Google Drive your ePortfolio. Good luck with them.